Grand rising. Happy Tuesday, everyone. I hope everyone is having a great day so far. Today, we're going to be talking about what's going on over here. Everybody's watching the Diddy trial to see exactly what's happening. So, we're going to go over day one today. So, throughout the week, I'm going to be keeping you guys updated with everything that is going on. But of course, because this is a federal case, we can't really watch it. So, I'm going to do my best to stay updated on everything. I've been taking notes throughout the whole thing since day one. So, I'm going to walk through day one with you guys, and then we're going to do that throughout the week. Okay. Hey, Miss Dolores. Hello there. How are you? Hey, Lolita. Hello, hello. Hey, Teresa. Hello, hello, hello. I am here and ready. Okay. Y'all, I broke my finger yesterday trying to be at the gym, trying to get this body right, and a 50-pound weight dropped and crushed it. So I have an appointment at 12 with the orthopedic just so they can see how bad it's truly messed up. But it's in a lot of pain, but I'm going to push through and get this week done. Okay. As best as I can, as best as I know how, because I know that if I sit around and do nothing, I'm going to feel in pain and unproductive. And I can't have both at the same time. Savvy, you okay? Yeah, I'm okay. It just hurts. I barely got any sleep last night, but it's okay. It hurt really bad though. I never had like a broken finger or anything. So to see, I think when it first happened, I more so was in panic that it, for one thing it hurt, but I couldn't move it. So that was creepy that I couldn't move my finger, but I'm okay. And then we'll find out what's gonna when I go to the ortho, we'll discover what's going on with it. But from my understanding, it's this here, this part here is like it looked like ET's finger. How ET had that ball at the tip of his finger, it looked like that. So it's really ugly right now. Alrighty, guys, let's get into this Diddy situation. Now, I've been watching this Diddy thing from the very beginning, from when he first got arrested. And as you guys know, I was one that always felt like that Diddy, he's always been a mess to me. I've never been a big Diddy fan because he's always gave me like drunk uncle. He's always gave me it just something about him that I did not like. Hey Shalane, how are you? I'm on the Beagle side too, y'all. So if y'all see me talking, it's because I'm doing both at the same time, so you guys can get, I can get both of you guys squared away. Um, with this Diddy situation, I've been watching it since the very beginning, even way before Cassie did her first official lawsuit. And I felt like something was creeping up on him, and it was because his name was being thrown around so much on social media, and they began to like spill a little bit of tea here and spill a little bit of tea there. So I felt like something was coming. I just didn't think that it was going to be at this magnitude. I'm one that believe yes, Diddy is a little off, and well, a lot off. I'm gonna say he's a lot off, and yes, Diddy has done some really bad things. But one thing that I do not like about this trial is that they have taken the time to monetize it before we've even gotten to the trial process. We got 2, 3 documentaries, we got 80 lawsuits, or what they're saying, and honestly and truly, what they're bringing forth to him in this trial, they kind of already put it out there already. There already was some hiccups in this trial process when it came to getting a proper jury, because they felt like because his case was so publicly it was publicized for everyone to see, they had to find people that kind of knew nothing about the case or didn't know Diddy at all. And that's going to be hard when you're dealing with someone of his stature and of his status, you know what I mean? So I'm sorry, y'all. So they already had like some hiccups in the very beginning. So let's get into day one and everything that went on. I will say day one was kind of shocking because while many do see that, yeah, Cassie has went through things, and yes, Diddy has ran her through the wire, but we're learning that Cassie partook in some things. Now, here's the question in that, in which I'm gonna get into with you guys. Is it by choice or by force? That's gonna be the question of day one, honestly and truly. Okay. So, right now, he is currently, for those of you who do not know or who haven't been really keeping up, Diddy is currently on trial for racketeering conspiracy in 1 count, sex trafficking by force, fraud, and coercion, 2 counts of coercion. Okay. And then transportation to engage in prostitution as well. All right. So prosecutors do allege that Combs had used his power as well as his influence to threaten violence, to use control and drugs, and attempt to control women, and also people that was considered his romantic partner, like Cassie. Okay, so this case also outlined many of the decades of things in which he has partaken in, many things that many of us didn't know anything about. Like I said earlier on when we first began to talk about this case, many of us wanted to go to a Diddy party, not realizing what was going on at the Diddy party. Grand Rising, y'all. Hey, everyone on the Bigo side. We're on both today. All right. So the federal indictment for Combs orchestrating a systematic operation. It goes like this: so recruited and controlled women under false pretenses, coerced for sexual activity through drugs, intimidation, and emotional abuse, direct freak offs, multi-day sex parties, including escorts and victims, and then you also have blackmail, which includes explicit videos to silence the women in which, were victimized by him, and then paid witnesses and or staff who possibly have seen things, i.e. domestic violence, drug use, trafficking, or any of those things. All right. So in this case right now, there's 12 jurors, there's 8 men and 4 women, and then there's six alternates just in case some jurors choose to bow out gracefully. Okay, or because there is some things that happen, or they may show bias, or they may slip up and say something in the public. They have six over just in case. All right. The judge also has rejected the defense claims that they have attempted to use racial bias in order to get a jury for this trial, because the defense feels as though that the prosecution and the courts have attempted to throw away all the black jurors in which could have possibly assisted or could have weighed more on Diddy's side of things. But of course, the judge had threw that out. Hey, Peshe, how are you, love? Pashia, I never get her name right. I know she's sick of me messing up her name. Grand Rising, love. Um, so when it comes to the opening statements that happened in day one, okay? So the prosecution, who is Emily Johnson, she describes Combs as the king of criminal sex empire. Okay, she also accuses him of using his employees and companies to manage and coerce sex crimes to happen under his organization. They also presented Cassie Ventura, as well as another woman that is known as Jane Doe. And they are the primary victims that they're saying was coerced into taking parts in these freak offs. Now, there's actually two Jane Does, is what they're saying. And then you have Cassie. Now, and I did see that they said that Cassie was seen in the court building yesterday, as well as her husband. And as you guys know, Cassie is currently pregnant right now with her third child. The alleged victims were drugged, controlled, as well as recorded. And they also said that Combs had used money and threats to silence everyone that was around him. Promised the jury would see the video of the freak offs, but the video of the freak offs will not be made public for us to see. Those will be sealed. Okay. And they're going to be showing, and they did show these freak offs in an effort to prove that they were used to coerce people or to silence people. Grand Rising, everyone. So then you have the defense, who is Tinny Garagos is his name, or Geragos. I'm not sure how he says it, as well as Brian Steele, who's also is the defense attorney on the side of P. Diddy. And they do acknowledge that Combs was very much a complicated person, very violent, and using drugs and things of that nature, but they do deny any of the criminal activity. They say that they framed this case to involve, basically they're putting it as all this hunching and parties and freak offs were all willingly by people that wanted to take part in this. It was all consensual with adults. So they're saying that this is just a lifestyle of the rich and famous, and that none of these women were forced in any form of sexual acts against their will. That this is all about a man that just enjoys a lot of drugs and a lot of fornication, is what they're putting it out there to be. Okay. They also called the accusers willing participants, and they also argued that the prosecution were weaponizing his private sex life, and also urged the jurors to not judge as the moral police and to distinguish between bad behavior and federal crimes. So basically they're trying to put it out there is, who are you guys to judge if this man want to partake in threesomes and foursomes and fivesomes and freak offs? Who are you, or the public, or the jury? Who are we to decide that? Is what the defense is going to is trying to push out there for the people. Okay. Then in day one, you have the first witness in their testimony. So the first witness was a security guard, and he was one of the people that were there when the whole Cassie assault happens. And this incident happened on March the 5th of 2016 at the Intercontinental Hotel. And this witness was Israel Flores. And Flores was called to respond to a woman in distress at around 11 a.m. He had worked for Securitas Security during the time. And upon arrival, he saw Cassie huddled over in a corner wearing a hood that was visibly, and she was visibly shaken up. And next to her was a shattered flower vase next to her. He also testified that Combs was wearing only a towel and told him that they had a fight. So Cassie had attempted to walk away, but Combs had told her that she is not leaving and she's not going anywhere. So Cassie, it also said that Flores had said that he stood in the doorway to prevent further confrontation between Cassie and Diddy from happening. Okay, so if you guys remember, and I think many people have forgot about, there was two videos leaked. There was one video that showed Cassie running from him in the hotel at the Continental. And then there was another video where you can see Diddy huddled over top of Cassie while she's under a towel. That's the video that he's talking about. And what's crazy about that video is that video was already exposed years and years ago. Thank you, Lady Lavish. That video was exposed years and years ago, but we did not see Diddy for who he was then. So it kind of flew over our heads. We all thought back in the day that this was a laughing and kiki and a caca, not realizing that Diddy is over there to giving us Ike and Tina Turner. Okay. But that video, and honestly, let's just be honest, Cassie actually tried to come out years ago, but nobody believed her. Everybody called Cassie a liar. Okay. So these allegations that it's coming, hey, First Lady, these allegations that are coming from Cassie, it's not new at all. It's just that when she said it, everyone looked the other way because this is P. Diddy. Okay. Now, in this situation, when it comes to Flores, Combs had later called Flores into the hallway and threw a sack of money at him, saying, "Don't tell anyone." Flores also interpreted this as a bribe and said that it amounted to 100% bribery is what they're looking at. So they also have the video evidence. Flores also said that he took a personal video because he didn't think that his wife would believe that he saw P. Diddy and Cassie fighting in the hallway. He slamming Cassie's head, dragging her to the floor, charging at her to take her phone, as well as attempting to seize the hotel staff phones over recording concerns. Because if you guys remember, Diddy had paid he paid the hotel thousands of dollars in order to make this disappear, but also for him to get a copy of it himself. So when it comes to this whole bribery thing, it is something that we all know that Diddy have taken part in. Now, Flores also confirmed that 5 videos was submitted into evidence via a thumb drive. So when it came down to the cross-examination of Flores, Steele had questioned why Flores had failed to include Cassie's purple eye that she had from that night, the devilish look that was in Combs, that look that Combs had, and as well as the bribe itself. Flores had replied to no police was called because Cassie didn't want to press charges. He also acknowledged not reviewing the video prior to writing his incident report. Hey, Dream, how are you? Now, when it comes to this whole Cassie thing, I must say, day one is looking kind of sticky. And I must say that the defense is kind of eating it up on day one. Okay. They're kind of eating it up a lot when it comes to these things because what they're doing is they're bringing up witnesses who many people thought were going to be 100% for prosecution. But there are some things that are being said within the trial that kind of makes us wonder. But you guys got to think about trials like this. You got to think about trials as like a game that you're watching because this can be a whole strategic play. Okay. When to say it, why to say it, and what's going to come out at the end. So while many of us could be thinking of this as, well, she didn't want to take, press charges, the prosecution can come back and say, well, she was scared. That's why she didn't want to press charges. She was threatened. That's why she didn't want to press charges. And it may come out later in court because let's not forget, they said that Diddy typically has security guards that's following Cassie around. Okay. And also, let's not forget, Cassie is set to testify. She hasn't done so yet. So while day one may look strong for the defense, the victim herself still has not been questioned yet. Okay. Now, then you have witness two, who is Daniel Phillip. Now, Daniel Phillip is the guy from the very beginning, before we knew about the whole federal lawsuit, is that there was a male prostitute that had went in front of the grand jury. This is him, okay? So Daniel Phillip is the male escort. He's 41 years old, and he was paid by Cassie to have some of these freak off things and sexual arrangements between her, him, and Diddy. He says that he was paid by Cassie himself, by herself. He paid her. He he received the money from her hands. Okay, and this happened between 2012 and 2014. So initially, he was hired under the belief that he would perform a strict striptease for just $200. But instead, Cassie had paid a few $1,000s, and they had sex while Combs had watched on and sat in the corner like the good creep that he is. I can only imagine seeing uh Pete Diddy hunched over in someone's hotel corner, being the monster that he was. That lets us know what type of freakazoid this man is, honestly and truly. That he is sitting there watching as a male escort is laying down with his woman as he's curled up in a corner somewhere. He really have some form of sexual demon that is on top of Diddy, and it's kind of crazy. He's a big old creep, a big one. So it is also said that there was some graphic sexual control that was done by Diddy. So he took a photo of Philip's driver's license, and veiled it as a threat as well, and also directed specific sexual acts to happen. The timing of some of the ending, I'm gonna call it the ending part of the fornication, you guys fill that in. And then he wanted to time that, and then also the position as well. He also directed specific acts to happen, occasionally interrupted during this time where Cassie was taking part in this as well, and then offered drugs to Philip, but Philip had declined. He once had canceled an encounter because Cassie had appeared to pass out, half on, half on the couch. Basically, her body was partially on and off the couch, kind of crazy. Being the producer of a freak off video is diabolical. And like that's what he was really. So Diddy is really all in your videos, technically. Diddy is going to find a way to be all in your videos. Suge Knight told us that, but we never thought it was this deep. We thinking he was talking about videos as far as music. Suge tried to tell us that you be all up in the videos. We didn't think you was in these type of ones, though. You was really producing and directing all in the videos. Diddy, you are something else. You are really something else, sir. You need to be stopped. Alrighty. Now you also have the physical abuse that was witnessed as well, where once heard Combs screaming, "B, when I tell you to come, you come now," is what he told Cassie. So they also saw him throw a liquor bottle and drag Cassie by her hair and pull her into the bedroom while she had screamed. They also heard sounds of slapping as well during some of these assaults. So on one occasion, they also heard Cassie repeatedly say, "I'm sorry," followed by sounds of slamming and violence. So Cassie had later ran to Philip shaking in fear and tried to convince him that she was okay. She says, "I'm okay. I'll be okay." Yeah, Suge said it first. Suge definitely said it first. Yes. Okay. So now when it comes to the child developments, the video of Combs beating Cassie officially entered into the court records as well. The court also denied the defense request to exclude um, testimony and incident reports. The jury also did observe the graphic video and explicit testimonies on the first day. Combs' daughters had left the courtroom during the disturbing sexual descriptions. And then the jury is being told to focus on only the legal definitions, not the moral judgment. Which I must be honest with you guys, one thing that it's hard for jurors to do is remove to remove their morale during trial. Morale is something that is given to you from birth, from your parents and the environment that you are raised in. So it's kind of hard for you to let your morale go. And sometimes that morale can also merge into religion. So if you have people that are possibly very high in morale and then very high religion, it's going to be hard for them to separate the two. So hopefully there's a good on that, but we'll see. So the community also is responding. So there's major media presence outside of the courthouse daily. Supporters of both Combs and survivors' rights also camped out overnight at the courthouse. So compared to the Harvey Weinstein trial, which many are not watching right now, and I don't know if you guys know, but remember when I told you guys that Diddy's trial is going on, but I need you to keep an eye on everything that is happening around us right now. Don't get too distracted because right now Harvey Weinstein stuff is going on too. And they're in the jury process for the Harvey Weinstein trial as well, which I'm going to be covering. So make sure that you tune in. We have two big trials from two big celebrities. They both kind of did the same exact thing. I think Harvey Weinstein's just haven't gotten the same type of publicity that Diddy's have. And I also don't think that Harvey Weinstein have the same form of like transportation and money and threats and things of that nature. But also, a lot of his stuff haven't been monetized and publicized. So we really don't know the bulk of his stuff. But when it comes out, I'm definitely going to keep y'all updated. Why would they have two trials going on in the same day to distract us? They need us fully distracted. Somebody's going to get off. I tell you that. The question is going to be, who's going to get off? Harvey Weinstein or P. Diddy? Tell me y'all thoughts in the comments of who y'all think is going to get off because somebody's going to walk away. Now, who that someone is, I don't know. Could it be the person that we haven't really seen the publicized, plays, and we haven't seen the victims doing documentaries, and we haven't seen TMZ covering it step by step? Or is it going to be Diddy, someone whose his story has been monetized? The courts, the victims have been going on the news. There's been multiple documentaries. Victims' names have been said. Witnesses, we know who they are. We know what some of the evidence look like. There's over 80 victims in lawsuits that has not been attached to this case at all. So there's a lot going on. Let me know who y'all think is going to be in the trial. I mean, who's going to win their trial. Alrighty. So, when it comes to the systematic failures in this trial, the hotel staff did not alert law enforcement in 2016, despite the visual evidence of the assault. The Intercontinental Hotel also reporting they omitted the critical facts that was needed. There was no charges that were filed at the time, and allegations of threats, bribes, and payoffs to silence the victims highlight how the wealth shields their power. So those are all the systematic things that happened that we can vividly see in day one. Now, when it comes to the outcome and what I think, okay, so the visual evidence, the surveillance videos, and then Cassie's visible injuries, like it may influence people's emotion on the jury. One thing that physical evidence is great at is pulling at the empathy and the sympathy of the crowd. So with them being able to visually see her respond to the abuse, with them able to see the bruises on her, with them being able to possibly even see some of these freak off videos, that will kind of give them a little bit more of an in-depth insight, but also it would assist in pulling out emotion, which can sway a decision. Then you also have the graphic testimony Philip had detailed about the power dynamics and the violence in the sex acts, and it could solidify a pattern of coercion in this case. And the jury may look at that. And then you also have the defense admission. So while admitting violence, basically they're saying, yes, we know that Diddy can be violent. They also argue it doesn't amount to trafficking. A risky strategy is what many people are saying. So they're saying, listen, Diddy is not here for who he fought. He's not here for any of that. You guys are trying to bring him here for violence. Well, we know he's guilty of that, but that's not what you guys here have him for. You have him for being a freakazoid, basically. You have him here for liking to have big old parties high on drugs with multiple sex workers. And I'll be honest, a jury can also look at it this way. Well, listen here. You guys are saying that he was trafficking people against their will, but yet you have a sex worker up here testifying, saying that they willingly took money from Cassie. So is this person a victim? They can look at it like that too. Like, is this person a victim because you have a sex worker that is literally telling you that Cassie paid him money and he went multiple times. And the only reason that he came out later is because everything that was coming out with Diddy. They can look at it like that, honestly. And then you also have the morale versus the legal conflict. Many people are going to look at this from a morality standpoint. Well, Diddy is violent. Diddy is fornicating with all these different people. Diddy is using his power. And then you have the legal conflict. So jurors are being asked to separate abusive conduct from federal crimes. which may be difficult in light of a powerful emotional testimony, which could come from Cassie. Okay. I think that they are off with I think that they are off with this case. I think so too. And I think that Diddy has already I don't care what nobody says. You mean to tell me out of 80 victims, so let's do the math right quick, guys. We gotta be honest. And y'all know I like the savage truth. We have 80 lawsuits outside of this here. Okay? We have 80 lawsuits outside of this here. And you mean to tell me that you guys only have two Jane Does and Cassie and this small group of people? I really hope and pray that you got way more than that. And we're talking about decades of this stuff. Decades. And then also, let's also put into this play too. While many of us thinking, okay, Cassie didn't want to do this and Cassie was being abused. Yes, she was being abused, but they also are going to have to prove that she didn't want parts of this because the man also testified that Cassie had requested for him to urinate on her. She asked him to do it. Now, the one question is going to be, hey, Chris. The one question is going to be, okay, yes, she may ask, but did Diddy force her to do this? Did Diddy force her to partake in this? We can look at that from two ways. And the fact that she has not testified as of yet. What happened to the 150 that was suing? Where are they? Well, the lawyer Tony Busby, first of all, he's falling through the cracks. Many of his witnesses are saying, and there's been audios that have been put out there within the last couple of months of Tony Busby trying to convince them to create stories. So while he said there was supposed to be 130, it looks like some of them have backed out and some of them have fell through. Just look at the Jay-Z one. Jay-Z got that one thrown out like that. Now, I don't know what type of power play he made, but that witness is nowhere to be found and she is gone. And many of the witnesses, there's the other witness that also came out to say that Diddy and one of the victims in the lawsuit said that Diddy and his bodyguard had did something to her at a party. Well, that man came out to say that victim had contacted him anonymously through Instagram trying to threaten him that if he does not testify, she's going to put him into the lawsuit with Diddy. At first, she was starting out with Diddy. And then because he refused to help her and be a witness in her lawsuit, she then threw him in there. But then to put a cherry on top of that, her ex also went to the authorities to say that he threatened that she had offered him that if he goes to court and assist her with being a witness against Diddy, that she would give him $3 million of the outcome. So the witnesses are falling through the hole too. Tony Busby was not a great lawyer to bring forth 130 people. His character is already through the roof. People already don't trust Tony Busby. Not to mention, Tony Busby has been on more television than we have seen him in a courtroom. We've seen him with TMZ more than we've seen him in the courtroom. We've seen him on more documentaries than we've seen him at the courtroom. So we got to ask ourselves, is this a money grab for Tony Busby? Or where did you get these victims from? Because a few of the victims are falling through the hole. Now, don't get me wrong. Do I think that Diddy has taken part in some very disgusting things? Absolutely. But what I'll tell you is this: all this monetizing that you guys have done in this case could possibly help this guy in a major way. Either walk away or get a little bit of time. Do I think that Diddy is guilty in some things? Absolutely. I've always felt like that Diddy was kind of weird in the way. Some of this stuff I know for a fact that he's done. But the question is, how are you guys going to prove that many of these sex workers who are in the field, many of them who have bragged about being with Diddy or who have bragged about being at celebrity parties, did this by force? Now we know that Cassie is a victim. We know that 100%. But when we have sex workers who are willingly saying that they went multiple occasions to meet with Diddy and Cassie, it's going to be kind of hard. It's going to be kind of hard, honestly and truly, y'all. It really is. And I just hate the fact that they monetize this trial because I would hate for the victims to not get the justice because the industry have played with the trial so much to get their money out of it. Tony Busby he's all about money. Money, 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 money. I just hate that they monetize it. I feel like that we could have got way more out of this if Tony Busby wasn't so quick to get money and pull victims off of who knows where. You think you think Dawn will testify? From my understanding, Dawn is going to be testifying. There's a few others that are going to be testifying that they have not let us know as of yet. And I also want to say, so you guys remember that they were saying that Wale was held over a balcony by Diddy? Wale has come out to say that's not true. I don't know if you guys saw that or not, but then in what last couple of days, he came out to say that that's not true at all. Now I don't know if he was sent the little coins or what, but yeah, he's saying that's not true. So yeah, it's a lot of things going on in this Diddy situation. Okay. It's a whole lot of things. So right now we're currently on day 2 of the trial. Every day this week, I'm gonna be keeping you guys updated with everything that is going on in the Diddy trial. So if you miss anything, don't worry, I got your back. If you're new over here on the YouTube side of things, make sure that you follow me. I'll walk you through it step by step by step. We're monitoring both Weinstein and Diddy. The question remains, who will walk away? Will it be Weinstein or will it be Diddy? We're definitely going to see. Okay. Trial. The jury selection for the Weinstein trial is now up and running. So we're going to be watching 2 big trials. And if you're watching the replay, let me know, who do you think going to get off, because somebody's definitely going to walk. Weinstein or Diddy. We're watching 2 of the biggest cases of 2020 of 2025, and it's going to be kind of crazy. You think Weinstein, Lolita? Hmm. Me too. I think it's is Weinstein going to be televised? If it's federal, no. I think his is federal. I think so. I have to go over it. If I remember correctly, I think his is federal as well, but I'm going to see. But if it's federal, we're gonna have to follow it just like this. Um, but we're gonna see how this goes, guys. We're definitely gonna see. Diddy is done. He served his purpose. Hmm. He could be done, or this could have been just a tap on the butt of nobody's bigger than the program. If you know, you know. Okay? That's what this could have been. Alrighty, guys. I'll be back tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on YouTube. If you are new here, please make sure that you do subscribe so that you can stay updated on everything that is going on, okay? Um, and I'll be on the Bigo side of things. I'm over here with you guys now. We're going to go over what's going on in day 2 so far so that we can stay updated. And then tomorrow on YouTube, I'm going to go through everything from start to finish of day 2 so you'll be able to stay updated, okay? Alrighty, guys. I'll see you guys later, and I'll keep you guys updated on this broken finger, okay? And thank you for watching True Crime with Savage Royalty.